Welcome back to the Growth Department. Today we have Ankri here. He built a trades business, then rebuilt how it runs with systems, AI, and a wartime CEO mindset that doesn't leave much room for excuses. Today we're getting into how he helps businesses scale without just throwing headcount at the problem. Welcome to the show, Andre.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite. The pleasure.
Yeah, you're a CEO using ADHD as a superpower. What's something that your brain does naturally that you've watched neurotypical leaders have to really work hard at?
It's the way that I see it. I don't think it's my superpower. The way I see it, that a lot of people using ADHD. So I have ADHD. I'm dyslexic. Don't try me, ask me to write something. You won't understand. I don't understand even. And I have OCPD. And a lot of people using that as excuse. Why not? Yes, if I had that and that, I was able to do it or stuff like that. I actually think that because I have ADHD, and this is why I call it a superpower, over the years, I kind of learned how to understand myself better. And it's really came up to even higher level of understanding when I read the article by Horvitz about the difference between a wartime and a peacetime. It's very related as CEO. It's very related to ADHD, actually. I just understand how to build system around how my brain is wired. And the second I was able to accommodate it, I was able to produce much more. Also, by understanding myself is also about aligning the right team that can work with me. It's not because when I'm saying work with me, not because I'm anything special. It's more a team that is able to sustain me in a way that I'm not making them crazy. It's because a person that has ADHD, pretty much it's no different than any other person. The difference is if an average person has around 4,000 thoughts a day, we have over 40,000.
What?
Yes. uh, Very disorganized. So everything is going from right and left. The way that my wife described it, I'm like the hamster on the wheel, but I have 7 of them running in different areas. It can be very overwhelming as a person that need to manage other people. So step number 1 for me was about acknowledging that. Step number 2, when I acknowledge, I understand that I was actually building system since I was a kid at school of how to learn and everything without even understanding that I'm actually building systems all the time. And third, to know also where's the thing that I shouldn't do because it doesn't fit me. And I think this is related to any person. No one can be the best in anything. God gave us gifts and capabilities that we have unique trades of stuff that we need to do. This is what we have to focus on them. The other stuff, we can do them, but not as good as the other stuff. And also to know how to approach different situations and also when to stop. Still working on it. And it's been a journey. Like I can elaborate more, but it's been a journey. It's more about understanding yourself. The second you understand yourself, you know how to produce more for yourself, regardless if you have ADHD or not. Specifically for people with ADHD, unfortunately, society has been labeling that kid has ADHD, and in different ways that people kind of thinking they're less. My own journey, myself, and the stuff I speak out about on my LinkedIn is to explain people that has ADHD. No, they're not less. Even if in a way they know how to use it, they can even be more. And they're not there. Nothing is wrong about it. You actually need to be grateful for it. It's a gift. It's not a curse.
You opened up a new door for me, so I'm going to go through it. What does AI play into your personal life with ADHD? Because I'm a very like do regimented do person and blinders to the point where it's not good. But when I get into AI and I'm in my cloud having these ideas, it's like, ooh, I could go here, I could go here, I could go here. You have those 40,000 thoughts a day. Are you using AI to like harness them or organize them, or is it creating more ideas?
Everything together, to be honest. So AI was anything that was an obstacle until a year and a half ago. I think Claude really kind of watch out. in a way that when people speak to me about AI and they say, okay, yes, I use ChatGPT and do that and that. And my comment is like, I don't use fax machines. I use Claude. And like, it's already like a second generation AI in the capability, but it's actually starting from the basics. So at start, it was exactly as you mentioned. He got me to rabbit holes so deep, and I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, in 5 hours. And so what I did, I actually reprogrammed all my modules. So I work with all of them. Each one of them has his own job. They're a team, and we have over 100 something bots that we build for the different businesses. And again, anything from personal bots, my marriage bot that I have to help me to kind of keep track on stuff. I have one for each one of them, but I started by the main platforms has an ADHD settings. So my systems know that I have ADHD. They know how I can get to rabbit holes. They are connected as well with my calendar. It's connected with my chats with my assistant. So even when I kind of run ideas, he'll come to me and say, Andre, with everything you have on the plate right now, is that the right time to spend? Like, this is the right way to spend your time.
Yeah.
So I added accountability on top of it. And we created a guide because someone actually on LinkedIn reached out to me. He's like, Andre, I want to start using AI, but I have ADHD. What do I have to do? And I'm like, you know what? I went to Claude and said, remember what I taught you?
Uh-huh.
Create me a guide. So we actually create a guide that I share that with people how to set up AI for ADHD. And it's really creating guardrails. Think about like a kid going to play, how it's called, what's the name
Bowling.
of that game? Bowling. There's kind of the guardrails. It's exactly what it's doing. So it's asking you where you want to be protected from. If it's about time, it's about subjects or anything like that, and it will make sure you're staying. And how does he want you to stop it? You're allowed to override it. As people with ADHD, we're not allowed to override anything. Like we have to have again, everything has to be very strict. Like
Mhm.
I don't have social media. And if I'll try to open it, I have a screen coming up saying, you're not supposed to. And if you really want, you have to wait 5 minutes until that pause will stop. So everything has to be very strict because I'll find a way usually. So I made it very strict, like blocking stuff for months. I control how many tabs I'm allowed to open on my computer. So, because if not, I will have so many, like so many. My workstation has 5 screens. So so many tabs. So I'm limited to 20. So there is a full guideline that we created. It's know exactly everything that I do, know percentage of the stuff, and it's also have the memory to go back to stuff that we created and kind of kickstart it because sometimes you start something, you leave it, and then you hear about an update, and then you start something else, and then how it's relevant to that one. So I have a bot that kind of collecting all my chat, organizing them in categories, and also updating if stuff is coming. So I don't have the bad habit of finishing this one's 20%, that one 10%, and finish stuff uncompleted. And the accountability is the biggest thing. It's pretty much, again, have a accommodate saying, do I want to get in trouble with Mariana? She's my assistant.
Uh-huh.
And even my assistant, she was hired, fully known who I am. And she's my accountability officer. Like I get cheat a lot. And it's helping me because by learning myself, I'm able to hire the people around me to help me to succeed. And then that way I can focus on what I'm good to help them succeed. And it's easier because you're creating a bond and a trust. This is a different level than what I had prior.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a choose your own adventure of where you want to go next. Do you want to go into AI deeper in the trades right now, or do you want to skip ahead to wartime CEO?
Let's go with wartime.
You mentioned this in the very beginning. What was there a specific moment when you realized peacetime, I'm doing air quotes, peacetime leadership wasn't going to cut it for you?
So there is an article saying the difference between a wartime and a peacetime.
Mhm.
And a wartime, the second I read it, it's really clicked in because a person, especially with ADHD, we're more oriented to problem solving. It's great excitement, kind of firefighter, something need to be fixed. It's very related to a wartime because at peacetime, and I saw it myself, like there were situations that I will even feel very, very depressed. And people from my team and my family come to me and is like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Everything is good at work. Work is great. You guys are making money. We're good. We're growing. So why are you depressed? I don't know. I just understand that is the lack of excitement. Jim Rohn mentioned in one of his books the difference between a boring business and exciting business. When I started my journey of rebuilding the company, building the software around it, and then AI becomes a layer of it, the goal was to build the business to be a boring business. And the last step of that one as a boring business that is stable, that nothing too exciting happening, not shaking the boat, not shaking the team too much, giving them stability. The last step was that I have to step back because if I'm staying there, it's going to be exciting. And it brought me to a place to understand like, okay, I'm willing to step back. I have other businesses I'm involved, but it's hard. There is a connection. When I read the wartime to peacetime, I actually understand that I don't need to step back. I just need to know what I have to deal with. I don't need to deal with operations of day to day. God know I shouldn't touch accounting. I can't. It's just there's no problem. It's really boring. I'm sorry, but dealing with customers, creating the network, dealing when there is an issue, then is where I'm good. If there is, we want to create something extreme of growth, or there is an issue, cash flow issue, any issue that need to create something that is now, like on the short term, this is what I'm gift. And the reason I kind of took that word of the wartime, because even customer that I consult, if someone say, okay, we just want to add something and a very small change or something very not wartime related, I'm sorry, it's not for me. Someone say, yeah, we want to get a contract with you for a year of coaching. 3 sessions. This is the max I'm doing. If you guys want to do something extreme, this is where I am. Like, if not, if you're also not ready for it, I'm not able to help you guys because the way I think and everything, it's more extreme to that side. And this is where I need to be for myself as well as where I can actually produce results.
Does wartime CEO create urgency across the org, or is it just stay with you?
It's more actually staying with me. I learn how not so to affect the team as much, uh, and it's more about they know to delegate what needed my attention. So
Mhm.
it can be something like accounting related. It's not my day to day, but there's a mission. Then it's something that I can do and I become also very passionate about. If it's about taking a task of approving all the purchase orders and everything, I shouldn't. So it's more dealing with situations that they are unknown. It's really hard to write a policy around it and everything. This is where the areas I can help. And because it's because of the ADHD of that 40,000 thoughts and everything. It's something I don't need to prepare. It's collecting information as we go and everything, and this is where I'm more effective for the team to find a solution kind of right away without too much information and how we can get from there, and that way actually supporting them compared to stressing them.
It was good because I when you were saying wartime CEO, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that must is everybody just sprinting and they're always worried?" But this seems like you're keeping it to yourself and the team can just do the boring business, grow it the way it needs to grow, and you just come in like a surgeon when you're needed.
Yeah, again, in all the businesses that I have right now, there is a mix of both. There
Mhm.
is a person is taking the day to day, and there is positions that are related to wartime, but it's more it's a mix of both of them to create balance. So I don't join morning meetings, also in a way to give space for the employees to say something without me. I think when an owner is in that meeting, it creates a pressure that it's you're not going to get the information you want from the people or the involvement. So I only there is very specific times that I join in areas, and there is specific task that I also do. I think it's about the growth of a founder, an owner, or an SEO to know where he's the most benefit to an organization and really to acknowledge and remove ego aside. Yes, I can do any other position. Can I do it as best as others? No, I can't. Some people can do it better than me. And because they can do it better than me, this is why I want them in my team. Because I want my goal that my team will be better than me. But I also still need to support them where I can.
When you started bringing automation into your business or businesses, what was something that you thought wouldn't work or was like, I don't know if we can automate that? That was a pleasant surprise?
So our journey to build our ERP, we went to 5 or 4 different platforms. We lost 1.5 million before we actually got to their platform. I had many developers that told me that what I'm asking cannot happen. I'm too specific. They quit on me, quite a bit of them. Uh, Brought me to the situation to go learn code itself to finalize it because we invested a lot of money. And then actually found a good developer. One was a communication. We have bots that we build automations of how to do a takeoff from the drawing for the trades because trades are very old school compared to other businesses. So I think the only part of the work now that is not automated, it's the actual drawing themselves, like the submissions drawings. Any other process, we automate it. We reduce tender review that can take some of them a few days or sometimes a week to under 30 minutes.
And then for like sales and marketing, do you use AI as well?
Connecting emotions, a project manager matching. So someone can sell a great project, but then there's not good matching in personalities of the project manager, and the project will not go very well. So we're matching because we anyway recording all the meetings. So we can know what type of a person we're working with and what he required to fit the right person to it, or to indicate to the project manager what type of communication that person needs. In a way to kind of to give them a better information. That is that was one big thing. Also, we were able to automate how to delegate. The system actually automatically delegates. So for me, delegation is hard. A lot. The same thing as the accountability part. The system will come and say, "Hey, why it doesn't go to that and that? Why are you doing that?" And in my weekly report, I'll get you. I spent X amount of hours on something I shouldn't. It's part of the report.
How long did it take to
So
build out these systems?
we're rebuilding them all the time. But since the first launch, we launched our first platform without using AI a year and 2 years ago, let's say.
Mhm.
And then we start using AI. We're now on the fourth rebuild of the system already because every update changing everything. We actually succeeded last week to make that the rebuild will be automatic. So the system getting updated as the modules get updated. So the system is getting smarter daily automatically.
Kind of what is not the word? Not observability. Governance do you have in place across all the mojos?
So pricing can be based only on database that is in a very basic Excel. There is a review on the conversations. The system have to ask at least 3 questions per request, and there are specific ones on them. It has to remind everybody that it's an AI, and AI can commit only to a 70%. Actually, our system is built when we set up capability, is allowed to use only 70. So it's not overusing what it can. So the system doesn't get stressed and adding irrelevant information. We have a bot called housekeeping that his job is to check the other bots. So it's checking everything. And our biggest thing is also kind of about knowing who is in the team, who is not in the team, understanding people positions, a lot of questions. The same thing as I'm expecting the employees. I want somebody who's curious to ask questions. This is what we're asking the system to ask, and zero information. We have only one bot that is allowed to go on Google. Everybody else have to use our database only.
Okay. When you've built a bunch of automations in your own businesses, what does a business look like on the inside when it's been built with people, scaling with people versus really good systems like what you've taken the time to build? What's the difference between those type of businesses?
So all of our system cannot work very well. It's worth nothing without the good people. What the system allowed us is to have only one type of people in the office. So usually in every business you have type A, type B, type C, and then you have the mix. You really wish that the type A will be a leader type and other people will follow. What the system allowed us is to hire only type A. So it's actually made us to be really hard for us to find a good matching to the culture because any decision, every new system is built is a joint effort from everybody. So let's say I'll go to estimating, they'll write the knowledge base. I'll help them to automate it. I don't write it for them. So it's all as a joint team to work together. And we have 3 ways of Q&A in a sandbox. So first of all, it will be used Q&A by developers to try it. Then we use it off of our platform for usually 2 to 3 months. And then we integrate to our CRM automatically. So you don't have to use it outside of the CRM. And the system is asking comments, but we ask for comments for the team, and the approval is come by them. And we're also doing competitions if it's estimating who is more accurate and why. And we're seeing stuff. So it's a tool. Again, AI is a drill. This is the way I see it. We're carpenters, and there's a brand new type of a drill. It's not a replacement of people. It's just a tool.
So you use it to amplify your existing people.
Again, we do have people that we don't have in our team anymore because any person that has repeatable tasks, it's not needed. That is where AI is coming. This is why we have only the type A people. But that way we were able to improve the employment, and we change a lot of stuff as a company. The goal is to have only leaders in the team. There's no followers.
Did you see, I don't know, it was last week that some study found that Claude gets bored with repetitive tasks. So if you give Claude too many repetitive tasks, it's
Yes,
like, I want to do something different.
it has ADHD.
Even the bots don't want to do the accounting.
It's true. Like, actually, if you see the different comments, so sometimes when you ask task, he won't comment, and some of them he will comment. Mine is set up to be very negative. Every question I ask, it has to be very, very negative to question me if it's true. So it won't give me credit on anything. It's built to be negative. But even sometimes when we come on stuff, it's quite nice. It's like, it's like two people working together and we figure something out and we got like a big aha moment. There is like a joint kind of being happy and kind of celebrating it. I do see that reaction from Claude, like that we've solved a problem. There is much more excitement and communication compared to repetitive tasks.
Yes. I also read that MIT did a study about ChatGPT causes people to become delusional because it doesn't do that. It doesn't stop and say, wait a minute. It just puts you in a spiral of telling you what you want to hear all along. Even if you prompted not to, it's dangerous. So you don't have that pushback at all. So use Claude, everybody.
It's very dangerous. Actually, I read this an article. I resonate with him this weekend a lot. It's about a business owner that spent $2 million building a software, and a 19-year-old that duplicate 80% of his software over the weekend with Claude. And I saw it because I feel I'm a mix of both of them. When we did the last integrations with the update, pretty much a lot of our automation, I had to shut them off because it's interfere. And everything that we built, technically today, if I had to redo it, I can have our project that took us a long time done in a week. Better.
What is the future?
It's exciting. It's the electronic revolution. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's exciting. And I can see why people would be scared a little bit from a few reasons, but very exciting as well.
But I think the scare is also coming from a place of not understanding.
Hmm.
If you read the article, 90% of the people using AI, first of all, using free accounts, they're not trained modules. They don't understand why they need to be trained or how they're trained. If I'm telling them my name is Andre and this is what I do, it's not training. Like there's a proper way to train a module. So if you're looking at from that side, yes, it's scary. With that, again, there's a lot of stuff that we're gaining. Is where people so there's two layers actually in a different article I read is about that AI does not actually save time. This is what I was saying over there. People get into that rabbit holes, and now they actually become that they are working for the AI because they'll wake up in the middle of the night every X amount of hours to do updates to see that the modules is still running. That was not the meaning of AI to do it that way. The meaning of AI is how you can take repeatable tasks, basic tasks, not replacing people in high areas. It's pretty much a circulation of the economy and how people are doing it. Exactly in the 20s, the manufacturing revolutions, it's not different. It's exactly the same. So we're improving. So yes, there is a bit of unknown right now, but the benefits are coming. Like stuff like the time from doing something to actually receive it is become extremely, extremely short. And that's mean we can create more. That's mean we can gain more time, but I think will take a long time for it. I think it actually will take a generation. until it's going to bust. Because from a business point of view, the only companies that are able to implement AI to the full, small to medium business. If you are bigger, it's too big to do. It's a big move to change different stuff. Again, you can take a specific process and change. A lot of the big companies now that has a layoff, they're not laying off because AI maybe took over one or two tasks. They will lay off because we have a recession, the economy. It's not the best. And for a big company to implement AI will take them a long, long time. And what you do with those people that are not very tech savvy. This is why, again, not maybe a full generation, but I think it's not going to happen in the next 2 years. It take a long, long time. What is giving small to medium business opportunity to kick ass right now?
Yeah, it's evening the playing fields. I've said it before, I couldn't even do this podcast without AI because it helps cut things up and slice it and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about somebody who's looking to build their business to last or to sell.
Mhm.
What does exit readiness actually require you to build that a lot of owners are skipping right now?
Okay, so it depends on the type of the business because you have thousands of SaaS businesses opening right now. Someone was in the shower, think about something, spoke with Claude, and 2 hours after it was built. And unfortunately, and I'm saying the most respectfully way, they think they have a SaaS business. So I have hundreds of bots. Even our internal team say, Andre, like, why won't we sell their products? And I tell them, I don't have an IP on each one of them. I tell them it's only my recipe. I call it AI for me, it's a pasta. And each one of the bots is my own recipe of my pasta. I can give you my recipe. You can figure out yourself. It's not my invention. It's just my own recipe for pasta.
Hmm.
So it's, again, AI can help for traditional businesses, but as fast as people build a business that they want to do a fast exit by build by AI, there is nothing unique over there. Someone will catch up to you very fast or do it better because the way it was built. So it's not unique. On the other side, on more traditional businesses that people want to do, the biggest thing is about the infrastructure of the business. For example, if I want to take a step back or I want to sell the business, what I want the revenue to be, and I say X amount of money. Secondly, what is the type of customers? Now let's stop. Does it make sense, the type of customers to the type of revenue that I set up that I want to sell the company? If we figure out that area, in way to get to this company, which people I need, okay, how much they cost, and pretty much reverse engineering a P&L in way to create a business plan, but not from the start of what I'm wishing, of kind of how is the endpoint to look, and then by that choosing the products. Because by doing it, you're kind of creating your infrastructure of who you need and what you need, and you don't have to figure it out on the go. You already know this is the people, this is how we can get to that revenue, this is everything. And on every cost, adding around 20% to 30%. So in that way, it's helping to measure it better. And the second that you know what is your end goal, because if someone is building something to sell, there is a dollar amount related. This is why it's need to be built from an accounting point of view. Secondly, is from day one, is not allowed to take any task on it. So if I'm building a business, let's say I have a business and my other businesses that are not UTS, I am much more the weight of my involvement. So it's actually much less than over here.
Hmm.
The reason for it, I already built it with a state of mind of not being involved in a lot of areas. UTS, I built it from the ground up. I was the first technician on the road installing stuff.
Hmm.
So it's very different the way that you kind of growing with that because it was the goal to build when I built UTS at start was not to sell it or anything. The goal was I have a small kid, I have a wife, I need to bring food home. The why change with the time, upgrade it more and more and more, but it's a two different point of views. A person that started that his goal is to bring money home, it's really hard to do that change because he was a one man show at start and then he started and there's an emotion investment in the company that it's only some people are able to do that change if they are willing, because when you're doing that change, you're willing to lose a little bit of money until stuff is going to align. If you're building a company from day one to sell it, and even in the trade, make sure that you can sustain yourself at least for 6 months with no income. This is usually the first thing I say to everybody. They're saying, yeah, we can do it and we will get a job and then that job will pay for that. I say, okay, in your bank right now, are you able 6 months to a year to work with no money? Zero money, not a little, zero money. If the answer is yes, yeah, awesome. If not, you're not built for that module. You build to build it differently. And I think it's before someone want to check out is going back to understand yourself. It will make people less fail because if we if a person is kind of, again, there is a lot of advertising on social media. Oh, I built a million business in a month and all of that stuff. It doesn't go like that.
Yeah. That's one
It
that's
just
one of the
doesn't.
reasons we did this podcast is because I was joined social media, started seeing all this crap. I'm like, "What are you talking what? Just you're a snake oil salesman. Stop it. Get off of here. You're telling so many bad pieces of advice to people." Uh, if you could leave the listeners with a hopeful bit about AI or how to set up your business or operating with ADHD, what would you want them to walk away with today?
So it's actually related to all three of them,
Mhm.
from operating a business, using AI, using ADHD, setting up expectation, and setting up a plan B for that expectation, and to have a structure. Everything is work much better. People with ADHD work better when they're structured. Organizations is the biggest thing about anything because when something is organized, it can be measured. As well as AI, when it's organized, the capability will be higher. So everything starts from training and setting up guidelines. So that is kind of the biggest thing that I see that I recommend. It helped me a lot because it's easier to work that way because the second everything organized, I have a wall here and a wall here. I can only look forward. It's like a horse with a blinder in a way, but not to blind myself from other stuff. It's just to see my road where I need to go. And that way to make a list of stuff that you want to do. And the list always have to have two columns, need and want.
Okay.
You can take a want on every three needs.
Okay. So you need 3, take all right, noted.
Yeah.
We're gonna link to where everybody can find you. Could they reach out if they have ADHD to learn more, or is there a link
Yeah.
where they can learn? Awesome.
My LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is the main hub.
Okay. And then we ask our guests, what's a book or show or podcast that you've been loving lately?
I listen to a lot of books. I'm actually now finishing reading Reader's Eat Last by Simon Sinek. Uh, awesome one. Another thing that helped me from time management, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I listened to one a lot of time. And I read one more that is a book that I listened to it already 7 times already. And it's my feel good book. It's Green Lights by Michael McConaughey.
That is a good one on audio because he makes it so
I
fun.
know. I know. I love his voice. It's a bit of
Nice.
a man crush, but yeah, it's
You know,
great.
yeah, if you're gonna read Green Lights, listen to it instead of read it. It is really good on audio
It's an awesome one. I really like it, and is an amazing storyteller.
and his perspective on, what's in the way or what's there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you so much for sharing a lot of different tips with us today, a lot about your journey, and we look forward to following you on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.